Manchester United 2, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Where did that come from? Wow, wow, wow. Manchester United not only won the game, we dominated Spurs today. Make no mistake about it. That first half was so good. The only thing missing was a goal. And my only concern was how we had one of those moments again, a bit like when we played Newcastle previously at the weekend, a bit like when we played Ammonia, where you're thinking we're just being wasteful, we need to be clinical. Second half come out 2 goals. Manchester United, that is the best performance all season by United, all season under Erik ten Hag. That is, I cannot express how much I enjoyed that game and how long it's been since I enjoyed a Manchester United game like that. That was good to watch. That was all right. That was enjoyable. I enjoyed watching that. And there are so many individuals we're going to go into here because obviously I could name all of them, but I do want to highlight first just the team performance because I don't think we've seen a cohesive performance like that in a really long time by Manchester United. Defended as a team, attacked as a team. The midfield dominated the game despite there being more people in midfield. Casemiro and Fred dominate the midfield. I thought going forward, Bruno Fernandes shut a lot of people up, including myself. I was criticising Bruno on the Full View Monday. I was saying I think the only reason he's been playing is because we don't have any other more number 10s available. But when he plays like today, that's why he plays, because he can offer that. He can offer goals. He can offer challenges to the opposition. I think Marcus Rashford up front, he's not a number 9, but he put in the hard work today. The wingers as well, Sancho and Antony were okay, but the real talking point has to be, as I mentioned, that midfield performance by Manchester United. Fred, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to him. Sunday, you couldn't find a worse midfield performance than he put in against Newcastle. He was abysmal. He was shocking. And the criticism that he got and has received in the 72 hours since then was entirely justified. And we're talking about him like he's got a year left on his contract. Who knows what that will look like now? I still don't think he's the future for Manchester United, it must be said, but performances like that, who knows? We spoke before about Casemiro. When Casemiro comes to Old Trafford, they play with each other on international level, Casemiro and Fred. Are we going to see this Brazilian connection? Is Casemiro going to unlock Fred? It was said as a joke. It was real. It was true. I can't believe it. Fred's performance, he was all over the pitch. Defensively, he's winning the ball back. He's intercepting passes. Going forward, he's a threat. Of course, his goal's a massive deflection, but I feel like if you work hard enough and if you put in the effort that he put in today, you get your bit of luck. You deserve it. Spurs, on the other hand, dreadful. They were awful. Even when we went 1-0 up, they didn't change the way they played at all. And Manchester United continued to dominate. Yeah, maybe in possession, it might not say that United dominated the game, but we had something like 20-odd shots once again. Hugo Lloris is their best player, because if Lloris wasn't in goal, it'd have probably been 4 or 5-0. Manchester United dominated to a level that we haven't seen in a really long time. Erik ten Hag deserves a ton of credit because we're still nowhere near the finish article, nowhere near. But now, what you've got to look at is actually, wait a minute, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham, they've all come to Old Trafford. They've all been defeated. Impressively, they've been no flukes. Manchester United have come out of all of those games and said, you know what, we deserved the win today. Either we were smarter, we were better, or we dominated the game like we did today. I think that Erik ten Hag and the entire team deserve a huge amount of credit. His partner in midfield, Casemiro, that's the Casemiro we want to see. I've been critical of him, saying that I think his quality on the ball has been sometimes suspect, and it still kind of was at points in this game. Sometimes he's somewhat lackadaisical on the ball, and he can be just half a second off it, and someone can intercept him, or he'll do a poor pass. But again, his energy, getting around the pitch, winning the ball back, and going forward too. An aspect of Casemiro's game that I really didn't appreciate until the last 3 or 4 games at United. Going forward, he's a threat. He could have scored today. He should have scored in the previous games too. And I think with Casemiro, that's what we're going to see going forward. We said that it might take time for him to bed into this Manchester United side. And that's what we're starting to see now. Remember, Christian Eriksen didn't play today. And that was the biggest concern going into the game. Is Eriksen going to be available? He was ill at the weekend. He was on the bench. And I said before the game, my biggest concern was that midfield being overrun because we didn't have the quality in there. Well, the quality was in abundance. Well, I'll never doubt Casemiro and Fred again. I will, the next game. But still, it was incredibly, incredibly impressive. Either one of them could have been man of the match, not Bruno Fernandes. Speaking of Bruno, as I mentioned, captain's performance, that's why he's leading the side at the moment. I don't think the criticism of Bruno Fernandes has been unfair either. I think a lot of it's been entirely justified. I think that, again, people will say, see, the people that criticize Fred and Bruno, you've been sat down today. Well, yeah, we have. I want to be sat down. I want to be flat on my ass all the time, then proving me wrong. Because they can do what they did today. Defensively, that is the bedrock of this Manchester United side. Manchester United's defence this season has been superb. And again, I praise the manager because this Manchester United side last season, we conceded the most goals we've ever conceded in a Premier League season. And people blame that on the goalkeeper, when in reality, if it wasn't for him, it would probably be a lot more than that. The reason we conceded so many goals last season is, one, our midfield wasn't good, and two, our defence was a shambles. It was shambolic at times. What we're starting to see now is a centre-back pairing between Varane and Martinez that's got an understanding, they're cohesive, they complement each other so well. You've got the aggression, the tenacity of Lisandro Martinez mixed with the composure and the pace of Rafael Varane as well. Luke Shaw, what a different guy, not just physically, but mentally and in terms of his performance too. We've said that it requires competition, and Luke Shaw, for whatever reason, saw Terrell Malacia walk into Carrington, take his spot, and Shaw went, I've got a challenger. I need to up my game. And that's exactly what he's done again tonight. Brilliant. His technique was fantastic. You maybe want to see him get forward a little bit more. But for a position in which Erik ten Hag, the manager, wants the player to be inside the pitch, he wants his fullbacks to be inverted, I thought Luke Shaw did an excellent job. Diogo Dalot, again, how he maintains this level, how he maintains this energy where he plays every single game, every single minute of every single game is fantastic. Again, the concern about him is, will he make the entire season? Is he going to get burnt out? But once again, I thought he was fantastic. The forward players, as I mentioned, Rashford, he did the dirty work. He's not a number 9, but he's doing a job whilst Anthony Martial is out injured. The wingers, Sancho, you would maybe say that he still looks a bit timid at times. And I think that when Martial's back, Rashford's going to be moved out to that left-hand side, and that's where Sancho might struggle to get into the side. Anthony, unlucky, hit the outside of the post. As I've said a million times before, we've barely scratched the surface when it comes to him, and we really do have an excellent player there. And even when Anthony Elanga came on, I thought he did very well there. Ronaldo, we've got to talk about Ronaldo because people will be asking the question about Cristiano Ronaldo. Unfortunately, and this has been my biggest frustration with Ronaldo this season. I've been called a Ronaldo hater. How dare you be disrespectful? The Ronaldo agenda is a disgrace, this, that, and the other. No. My frustration has been, and it's the exact same thing today, if Ronaldo plays, people talk about Ronaldo. If he doesn't play, people talk about Ronaldo. If he comes off the bench, people talk about Ronaldo, and it's the same thing today. This is the best performance by Manchester United all season. An impressive victory and progress. That's what today was, progress under Erik ten Hag. And the first question is going to be about Ronaldo because he walked down the tunnel before the game was over. And that's the biggest frustration. But I'm not going to let it dampen my mood. I'm not going to let it dampen how happy I am because Erik ten Hag is building something here and I'm happy to see it. So on to the next one.